Hello everyone, this is Scott with Cash Cow Farmer, and with the correction in commodity prices and margins being very tight for farmers, we need to manage our fields like Warren Buffett manages a portfolio of investments, making sure that each individual field is performing and producing an income. So with Cash Cow Farmer, this is very easy to do, and I'll walk you through how to do it right now. So first, you see this is the summary. All the data has already been inputted here. I'll walk you through how to input the data, but first we'll just look quickly at the summary page. This is kind of the farmer's dream right here. You've got each individual field, and then it's individual, its total input costs, as well as its broken out input costs. How many acres were planted, the expected yield, and then the break even in per bushel of corn, soybeans, whatever commodity you're growing. And now here with the cash price, we've got what the actual what the cash price is in that farmer's local area, so that they know how much money per acre, how many dollars per acre that field is going to produce for an income. So first thing we need to do is we need to start building the price list. Here's the price list. This starts everything totally blank. Farmer will start by first editing. So they click on the edit button and they select their year and then the acres under management, followed by adding their operating costs. Operating costs are just the annual costs for each one of these individual expenses. You can add a custom expense as well by clicking the custom tab, by clicking down and scrolling to custom, and then it'll open up a blank one. I'll demonstrate. There's a custom expense, or if you can have fuel or whatever it is, we've got a few in there already. Custom expense, the annual operating cost. You need to remove it, just hit the X. Next, the farmer will add seed prices for any sort of commodity that they grow. Corn, soybeans, peanuts, peas, everything. When you select a commodity, then you'll select the brand, or you can do a custom brand or other. You'll select the variety, and then the cost per unit, bag, bushel, whatever it is. And then that'll determine those input costs for seeds. Next, you've got fertilizer prices. Fertilizer prices are very easy to add. You just hit the plus button, type in the name, and then the cost per whatever application it is. It could be, many people buy their fertilizer in tons, some of them buy the liquid fertilizers in gallons, and then some buy the liquid fertilizer in tons and apply them in gallons, so you apply it in a liquid volume measurement. Then you need to put the density, however many pounds per gallon that fertilizer is. Next, you go to chemical prices, put all those in, very similar. Some chemicals are liquid, some are dry. Just put whether it's per pound or gallon, very easy to do. And then you save that. After you save it, go back to the field summary page, and I'm going to show you how to add an individual field. You can click add field, or since we've already got it in there, we'll just go to one that I've already added. This is Clifton 18 West Half, CL18WH. That's the code name that we use on the farm so that we can communicate with our employees very easily. The legal description is right next to it, and then you select the crop type, whatever crop was planted on that field. Then you put the legal acres, and then how many acres were planted. Because you'll need to put this planted acres correctly with how many acres you plant, because that'll eventually will have a very easily printed out report for your planting pass. Next, you put the expected yield in bushels. Some other crops have different measurements, so you can change that. And then you got your overhead costs. This is going to be rent. If you don't have rent, you might have your taxes, agronomy, variable rate prescriptions, insurance, hail insurance, any excess harvest costs that are included in your price list already, drying costs, miscellaneous costs, all that sort of stuff. Here we have other overhead. This can be if you have like a hail payment, or if you had one crop that got winter killed. If you had some wheat that got winter killed, and you planted a different crop on it. Let's say you went corn in the spring, then insurance would give you a payment, which you can type in here, and then you can put it as an income on that farm. Insurance payments can also be inputted here at the end of the season when you know your per acre insurance payment to get your exact, correct per field production costs. Next, you've got custom application rates. You can add any custom application, whether it's a harvest, a chemical pass, Maybe it's spreading fertilizer. And you put the cost per acre, how many acres they did. Notice we're applying more chemical than we planted. That happens. Sometimes there's over application. And then you put the date in there. You put the date of each application so that you can track that. It's in your records. And next you put your planting pass. You select the variety of seed that you built in your price list, how many seeds per acre you put in there, the acres of that variety, and then some might be in bushels per acre if you got wheat and various other commodities, so then you can change that. And then you put the date that you planted. That's very important because when you print the planting report, which is in the fields, planting report 2014, which is the one we're looking at right now, it'll have all your fields individualized, and then the date it was planted, the planted acres, legal acres, all that stuff very easily done for you. Next, you got your fertilizers. Each individual fertilizer, how many pounds per acre, how many acres were applied with that fertilizer, and then the date. Notice if you've got some fertilizers that were put down with the planter, that's going to be about the same amount of acres as you planted, and then some other fertilizers that were maybe spread might be more or less. You can put exactly your production cost right down to the acre. Next, you put your chemicals in. You've got water, Class Act, atrazine, Halex, whatever chemical you have you built in that price list. It'll populate here in the drop down. You select it. You put how many ounces or how many gallons per acre. Some are high rates. Ounces, the date applied, and how many acres were applied with that chemical. The next thing you do is you save it, and you're brought back to the summary for the crop year. Now, notice this bottom column right here is the total planted acres, and then you've got our weighted average input costs as well as the weighted average expected yield. Each field has a different number of acres, so this 186 bushel yield on 305 acres is going to have a heavier weight than some of these smaller fields. So that is going to give you the most precise production cost, as well as the break-even. It's also weighted. So you might have a high break-even on a large number of fields and then a bunch of low ones, but that'll skew it because this field's bigger. And then you've got your cash price, and then this is going to be your profit per acre on your weighted average profit per acre. So looking at the economics of these 6 cornfields, looking at making $53 per acre. Another thing you can do is dial in and view your cost per acre, or excuse me, cost per field. So you've got your operating costs, feed, fertilizer, all those costs per field. So to farm 693.4 acres of corn, you're going to have to borrow or finance with $400,000, a little over $400,000. Your expected yield per corn is 123,295 bushels, right down to the exact bushel. And your expected income is $36,930 for these cornfields. Same as for soybeans. We've got a corn and soybean example here. Your total, this bottom column is the total acres, 1,700 acres. You're looking at $826,900 to grow that much commodity, and then 47,000 bushels of soybeans at a weighted average break-even of $8.95. So you're looking at making $53,447 on this farm. Next thing you want to do is put in any individual marketing contracts that you've made. So here we've got the forward contracts page. Here's an example of your corn right here. You have unsold at cash price $3.52, 123,295 bushels. So we can add a forward contract right here. We'll put South Dakota wheat growers, and over harvest we'll select corn. We'll do 50,000 bushels, and we'll do for let's say we sold for futures price of $4.25 with a 65-cent basis. So I'll save that. It'll add that in there. Cash price is $3.60, which let's assume that we actually got $3.60 for this contract. So we got 50,000 at $3.60. That's $180,000. Then we've got 73,295 left to sell. Now, when we go back to the fields page, you can see that our profit went up because we contracted a little bit more grain than the current cash price. That's another great thing about cash crop farmers. You can tell in real time. It'll price all your inventory that's unsold in real time at the current market price, so that you know what your profit levels are at all times. Hope you enjoyed the little presentation here. If you have any questions, please contact us. Please fill out a free trial. You get 30 days to test and utilize the program, and enjoy the program. Hope it helps you a lot. Thank you.